Your baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, KCAL 9 presents the Giants and the Dodgers. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be. Giants and Dodgers, hot and cold. The Giants playing very well of late. They had a bad 7-game losing streak, but they've bounced back now to win 10 of their last 12. The Dodgers, meanwhile, have lost 5 in a row for the third time this year. The Dodgers also find themselves 6 games behind San Diego. It's the 4th time they've been that far back. And tonight, 2 brilliant young pitchers engaged. Left-hander Clayton Kershaw at 22 has pitched remarkably well in 3 appearances against the Giants, but has no record against them. And up against the 2-time Cy Young Award winner, and that, of course, would be Tim Lincecum, who is 4-1 in his career against the Dodgers. So, the Giants and the Dodgers coming up. Who could ask for anything more? Right after this. box where you can get anything on the menu any time of the day. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. The Dodgers and the Giants ready to roll all over Dodger Stadium. This will be their 8th meeting of the year. The Dodgers have won 5 of the previous 7. It is also Game 2 of the 3-game series, but they won't be saying goodbye for very long, because by the time they finish here, the Mets will come in and the Dodgers will go out on the road to play San Diego and the Giants again. So meanwhile tonight, you have 2 young pitchers locked in, and it figures that over the years they'll be facing each other for many years to come, and that would be Clayton Kershaw and Tim Lincecum. Lincecum, of course, is the older of the 2. He is 26, so for Joe Torre and for Rick Honeycutt, they have to root for Kershaw to be particularly on his game. Lincecum, the Cy Young Award winner 2 years in a row, and so the Dodgers faced with a formidable task. Meanwhile, the Giant lineup, a ball club that has won 10 of the last 12, it'll be Andres Torres in right field, Freddie Sanchez at second base, Buster Posey hits third behind the plate. Pat Burrell returns to the starting lineup with a left-hander going. Pat will be in left field. Pablo Sandoval crosses the diamond. He played third base last night. He'll play first base tonight. Juan Uribe, last night's shortstop, will play third. Edgar Renteria, who appeared as a pinch hitter last night, singled. He'll be in the starting lineup at shortstop. Aaron Rowand in center field, and Tim Lincecum on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, the 22-year-old Clayton Kershaw. He has limited Giant hitters to a 146 batting average in 3 games. His earned run average against the Giants in 3 games is 1.2, and he doesn't have a record. Going back to the middle of April, he faced the Giants, struck out 9 over 7 innings, allowed 1 run, left the game tied, and the Dodgers eventually won it 2-1, but still no decision. So Andres Torres starts the evening off and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Torres hitting .278, 8 home runs, 32 runs batted in, had a double and a walk last night, lays off a pitch high, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Talking about the prospect of these 2 young pitchers, Kershaw at 22, Lincecum at 26. The 1-1 pitch on the way is low and inside. With the Giants and the Dodgers, particularly out here on the coast, you might talk about 2 premier pitchers going head-to-head, Sandy Koufax and Juan Marichal. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Torres, and that's fouled away. Well, Koufax and Marichal only faced each other 4 times. Koufax won the first meeting. The second meeting, Koufax pitched a no-hitter. The third meeting, the Giants knocked Koufax out of the game in the first inning. And the final meeting was the infamous game involving Marichal, Roseboro, and the bat. Pitch inside, and let's see, did that hit Torres on the hand? He acted like it got him, and we're waiting to see if he's going to be awarded first base. Nope, he is hanging around at the plate. So it got him on the left hand. Now, of course, as a right-handed batter would be the front hand. Now Joe Torre is coming out and Bruce Bochy is coming out. So they're not exchanging lineup cards. And Joe Torre is talking to Adrian Johnson. Now, Adrian Johnson is going to have his hands full. He is the plate umpire in a Giant Dodger game. And Adrian Johnson has been in the big leagues 2 years. He has filled a role of what they call a call-up umpire since 2006. They would call him up for a vacation spot or whatever. Well, he is now awarded Torres first base, hit by the pitch. Joe Torre goes back to the dugout. Adrian goes back to work, and the batter will be Freddie Sanchez. So to get back for the moment, we told you that Koufax and Marichal have faced each other 4 times. How about Don Drysdale and Juan Marichal? Now you're talking. They met 16 times in their career. Kershaw now working on Sanchez. Freddie hitting .275, fouls it away, and the count 0-1. with Drysdale and Marichal meeting 16 times and both going into the Hall of Fame. If you go all the way back to 1919, the only Hall of Fame pitchers facing each other more than 16, Tom Seaver and left-hander Steve Carlton, faced each other 17 times. Strike one pitch. Sanchez takes off speed. That misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. The first time that Drysdale and Marichal met, Don was 24, Marichal was 23, and the Giants won 11 of the 16 meetings. So that's a little background and the prospect of what might happen over the years as Sanchez fouls another one away. Tim Lincecum versus Clayton Kershaw. Meanwhile, we're in the first inning, no score. Andres Torres hit by a pitch. Torres runs well, so if you put him on hit by pitch, it's almost a double. He has stolen 17 out of 21. 1-2 the count to Sanchez. Kershaw delivers, and it's fouled away. Another thing about Andres Torres, if he gets to second base, the Dodgers have to be very, very aware of his presence. He has stolen third base 4 times, so he can be a problem. The Giants and Torres with his 17 stolen bases. The rest of the club collectively, they only have 18. So Torres takes the lead, draws the throw, and back to the bag he goes. Couple of important scores relative to these two teams. The Rockies pounded the Marlins 10-0. Jeff Francis a 7 shutout inning performance. Melvin Mora knocked in 5 of the Rockies' 10. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Sanchez, and that's taken for a strike. Freddie knew it and walks away. So strikeout number 1, 1 away. And now another young fella whom Clayton Kershaw figures to battle, and vice versa, and that would be Buster Posey, the brilliant young catcher. Buster Posey walked, singled, drove in a run, scored 1 last night. He also struck out twice. So Posey has been a big reason why the Giants have been winning regularly after a 7-game losing streak. Posey takes off the plate, ball 1. One other score of interest to Bruce Bochy and Joe Torre. The Braves beat the Padres 4-1. Matt Diaz homered, knocked in 3. Jason Haywood knocked in another, and the Braves won it 4-1. Here's the 1-0 pitch, instead a throw to first. Wade LeBlanc lost that game. Jair Jurgens, who allowed 1 run over 7, picked up the win. So the Padres lose, the Rockies win, and now the winner of this one will pick up a little ground. The 1-0 pitch coming up to Buster Posey is a fastball on the inside corner for a strike, and the count 1-1. No score, we're just starting. Andres Torres hit on the hand, awarded first base. Freddie Sanchez struck out. And here's Posey, 1-1. Right-hand hitter, bends at the knees, slightly at the waist. And the pitch to Buster down at his feet, ball 2. 2-1 the count. Posey looking down to Tim Flannery, coaching at third. The Giants are in a long stretch, 18 of 22 games played on the road. By winning last night, they're doing very well. They're 11-5 over that stretch. Now the 2-1 pitch coming up. Kershaw is set, ready, fires, and gets it in there for a strike, and the count 2-2. In looking at Clayton Kershaw, he has walked 53, and he has struck out 130. Clayton looks down the barrel. Posey, 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Kershaw, another throw over, and back to the bag goes Andres Torres. The Giants offensively, a very aggressive ball club, and they run the bases very well, although that didn't play out properly last night. But an aggressive base running team will have times where they'll run themselves out of an inning. The 2-2 pitch, Torres does not go. Ground ball to Furcal. He feeds second, return it to first, and double play. One other note we were going to drop in. The Giants are #1 in grounding into double plays. And at the end of half an inning, Giants nothing and Lincecum going to work. In order in the first inning in 20 consecutive starts. Oh yeah, he had a 1-2-3 inning, but remember he hit Andres Torres. So here comes the Dodger lineup with Rafael Furcal, followed by Xavier Paul and Andre Ethier, then James Loney, then Matt Kemp and Blake DeWitt, Casey Blake, Russell Martin, and Clayton Kershaw. Tim Lincecum standing on the mound with a record of 10-4. 1-0 against the Dodgers this year, 4-1 lifetime. And turns ready, and his first pitch to Rafael is a little low and away, ball 1, 1-0. And looking at Furcal going up against Lincecum, you find that Rafael hitting .214, takes a pitch high, 2 balls and no strikes. Furcal blazing hot. He has hit safely in 18 of his last 20. And he leads the league with that .338 batting average. Another fastball very high, ball 3. For Tim Lincecum, in looking at his numbers, 49 walks and 136 strikeouts. And he comes back 3-0 and misses for ball 4. So let's take a look at the Giants defensively. They shape up with Burrow, Rowland, and Torres, Uribe, Renteria, Sanchez, and Sandoval, and the battery of Lincecum and Posey. And the batter now will be Xavier Paul. So the walk shows you just how close these pitchers are in all kinds of departments. We might examine that a little bit later. But right now, Lincecum out of a stretch, throws to first, and Rafael Furcal diving back to the bag. He has stolen 15 out of 18. So Rafael at first, nobody out, bottom of the first inning, no score. Xavier Paul hitting .250 with 9 runs batted in, and he takes the strike, and they count 1 ball and no strikes. You know, an interesting note about the Dodgers, they are a highly unusual team in playing so well against its own division, but not in first place in that division. You know, the Dodgers are 23-7 in the West, but yet they're 6 back of the Padres. Throw to first, not in time. If you go back to division play in 1969, no team that has played 700 or better baseball in its own division failed to make the postseason. Dodgers right now have that winning percentage of .737. The next pitch, and that's a little low. For Lincecum, starting off by walking for a call. He has a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Xavier Paul. In looking at Xavier Paul's time with the Dodgers, he has bunted and sacrificed 3 times. On deck, Andre Ethier. Lincecum set. Tim ready. There goes for a call. The pitch is low. Posey's throw short hop and out of the glove of Renteria. Renteria, had he short hopped and held on to it, might have made the play, but it came right out of his glove. Posey's throw hurried, but yet right there where you want it, they'll let the runner slide in, and Renteria just didn't hold on to the throw. And for Rafael Furcal, his 16th stolen base. For Lincecum, he's allowed 17 stolen bases now. That's one Achilles heel for him. And he wants to talk to Buster Posey. Let's get back for a moment to the Dodgers doing so well in the division and not in first place. The 1974 the Dodgers led the West and lost the World Series. That was the one Dodger team that this club might think about. Their record against the West was 63-27. 2-1 the count. For call with a walk and a stolen base, and the 2-1 pitch is taken low. So Lincecum is struggling a little bit here in the first inning. Lincecum is quite a story, and since those of you watching on television can really understand what I'm talking about, Lincecum is 6 feet tall. He's set at the belt. A look at Furcal, back to Paul, ground ball fair, inside first, down the line. Furcal will score. Into second base goes Xavier Paul with a stand-up double, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. So that play at second base, a most important play, and Xavier Paul cashes in. Rafael Furcal and Edgar Renteria wishes he had one more chance to grab that throw from Posey. So Paul doubles inside the bag despite the efforts of Pablo Sandoval, and the Dodgers are on the board 1-0. So with Xavier Paul at second base, nobody out, Andre Ethier checks in with James Loney on deck. Right-hander Lincecum's pitch swung on and missed, 0-1. Here's the note about Lincecum. He is an even 6 feet tall. Now, according to baseball, they tell you that the pitcher's stride to home plate is about 77 to 85% of his height. All right. Lincecum's stride is 129% of his height. Here's the strike one pitch coming up to Andre Ethier, and that's swung on and grounded foul, 0-2. So if you take a look at that 6 feet tall Lincecum, and then 129%, his stride is 7.5 feet, which is incredibly unusual. And that's one thing that caught everybody's eye, and in many ways was a deterrent when it came time to draft him. The strike two pitch, over the top fastball, 1-2 the count to Andre Ethier. So Lincecum is quite a storied young pitcher, and of course it's paid off. 2 consecutive Cy Young Award years. Tim looks in, getting a sign. He was 18-5 and 15-7. Back he comes to Ethier, and there's a high drive to right field, down the line, in the corner, and gone. Home run for Ethier, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. Andre Ethier drives it out. A standing ovation as Ethier walks back to the dugout. For Andre, his 16th home run. He has 57 runs batted in, and euphoria has gripped Dodger Stadium, at least for the moment. His second career home run against Lincecum. And the pitch now to Loney, high and away, ball one. So Ethier had an opportunity last night with the bases loaded and couldn't do it, but he made it tonight against Lincecum. The 1-0 pitch in for a strike, and the count 1-1. Loney batting .307, 6 home runs, 64 runs batted in, and the Dodgers lead the Giants 3-0. A 2-1 count now to James Loney. For Lincecum, only the 9th home run that he's allowed this year. The 2-1 pitch on the way, a ground ball to the hole, right side. Nice block and play by Sanchez to get him. So Freddie goes in the hole out on the grass, makes a good play to take a hit away from Loney. And the batter will be Matt Kemp. Dodgers with a walk, a double, and a home run here in the first inning. So Matt Kemp checking in. And looking at the matchup, Kemp is just 2 for 15 against this pitcher. Lincecum's first pitch missing for ball one. That's been his problem here in the first inning. Pitching behind, not with his customary command. And he came in here red hot. The 1-0 pitch on the way is swung on and hit in the air to right field. Coming over to the line and making the catch is Torres. And that would be the second out. So with 2 out in the first inning, the batter will be Blake DeWitt. Lincecum came into the game with an earned run average of 2.9, and he's already given up 3 in the first inning. He is 4-1 lifetime against the Dodgers. The right-hander deals, and it's low. 1 ball and no strikes to Blake. DeWitt hitting .272 with a home run and 29 runs batted in. The next pitch is lifted into right center. Torres moving over, and the right fielder waits and makes the catch. Well, the catch has been the 2-run home run by Ethier, the walk and the stolen base by Furcal, the double by Xavier Paul. Put it all together, and at the end of an inning, 3-0 Dodgers. For San Francisco, and takes a strike. 0-1. Pat did not play last night. Right-hand hitter batting .246, 5 home runs, 25 runs batted in, and he looks at a breaking ball strike, and the count 0-2. For Pat Burrell, as he stands at the plate, He had 13 RBIs in the American League. The pitch in the dirt. Check swing, no swing, says Tim McClellan, and the count 1-2. So if we show you 25 RBIs for Pat, that's including the ones that he hit over in the American League. He has 12 since he joined the San Francisco Ball Club. 1-2 the count to Burrell. Kershaw ready. Here he comes. Swung on and missed, and down he goes. Strikeout number 2 for Clayton Kershaw.
First baseman, number 48.
The 1 out in the second inning. High fastball just takes care of Burrell. And the batter now, Pablo Sandoval. Clayton Kershaw and Sandoval. Sandoval is 0 for 4 against him, striking out twice. Burrell was 3 for 5 against him before biting the dust. So the Panda, as they call him, hitting .273 at the plate. Switch hitter, batting right-handed, and fouls it away. 0-1 the count. Sandoval in last night's game had a single and a double, went 2 for 5. Playing third, he made a tag for the third out, removing a force, and that allowed a run to score for the Dodgers. Strike one pitch is swung on, big swing and a miss. He staggered and almost went across into the left-hand hitting box, and the count 0-2. Giant offense, as we said, very aggressive. The strike 2 pitch on the way, and that's taken just off the plate. 1-2. So Clayton Kershaw has struck out 2 and hit a batter, and leads 3-0 top of the second inning. Clayton into the windup, and the 1-2 pitch, fastball off the plate. Sandoval started off her and just did hold up. Pablo has only struck out 51 times, and for a fellow who is such an aggressive hitter, that's pretty remarkable. 2-2 the count. Here comes Kershaw, and this one's low and inside. Ball 3. On deck, Jose Uribe. Kershaw perhaps pitching with a little too much adrenaline and pitching quickly between pitches. Now slows things down, takes a little walk around the mound, gets back up on top, and the 3-2 pitch to Sandoval is hit down the right field line, foul, and going well back into the crowd. Last night we had 45,056, and it certainly looks like we have far more than that. Andre Ethier bobblehead night, and the folks are, James Loney bobblehead night. The next pitch is high, ball 4, and Sandoval goes to first. So for Clayton Kershaw, he has hit a batter, he has walked one, and now Jose Uribe. Uribe 1 for 5 in the past, and it was a home run against Kershaw. I'm sure they both remember. Juan hitting .253 with 12 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Dodgers lead 3-0 top of the second inning. And Kershaw delivers, and the first one is up. Ball 1, 1-0. Uribe followed in the lineup by Edgar Renteria. 3 runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Sandoval at first with 1 out. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. Uribe fouls it away. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Uribe, a veteran who has been around for quite a while, so a very experienced infielder. Give you a shortstop or third base as he's playing tonight. Juan back up as Sandoval takes his lead. The 1-1 pitch on the way is taken a little low. Ball 2, 2-1 to Uribe. Uribe is 5'11", very stocky 220, and was originally signed by the Rockies. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Kershaw out of a stretch, looks over at Sandoval, comes to his hitter low and inside, and Kershaw almost fell down in his follow through. The 3-1 the count. Kershaw losing his balance, had to use his gloved hand for support. Otherwise he would have taken a header. 3-1 the count to Uribe. Clayton ready. 3-1 pitch, fastball, whack to the gap in right center. Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier are not going to catch it. It's going to bounce against the wall, and the Giants will have runners at second and third with one out on the long double by Juan Uribe.
Number 16, Edgar.
So it looked like Kershaw was struggling. He walked Sandoval 3-2, almost fell down 3-1 to Uribe, and then Juan hits the next one into the gap for a double. So the Giants are in business. That would only be the 17th double for Uribe, so he can pile them up. So second and third, one out, and Edgar Renteria checks in at the plate. Veteran right-hand hitting shortstop, the boy from Barranquilla in Colombia. Renteria, 1 home run, 13 runs batted in, lays off a fastball that's low, ball 1, 1-0. The Kershaw, little spot of trouble here, second and third, one away, leading 3-0. Clayton out of his stretch. Now the 1-0 pitch to Renteria, low and away, gets away from Martin, but it also hit the umpire's foot, so it didn't roll very far. And a 2-0 count. So Kershaw is laboring a little bit, maybe overthrowing, maybe trying too hard. You have this glamour matchup, and one of them is somewhat of a veteran 26, and the other 22. So Kershaw looks down the barrel to get a sign from Martin. With first base open, the 2-0 pitch to Edgar Renteria. And Kershaw deals, and that's fouled back, and the count 2-1. So in the inning, Burrell struck out. Sandoval walked on a 3-2 pitch. Uribe hit a 3-1 pitch in the gap for a double to right center. Dodgers 3, Giants nothing. Giants threatening. On deck, Aaron Rowan. Kershaw again out of a stretch. Now the 2-1 pitch to Edgar Renteria is a fastball inside, and ball 3. The pitch was dropped by Martin, so for a split second you wondered if it didn't hit the bat. It was just a pitch that got away. Martin tried to one-hand it and couldn't do it. And we're going to turn that 3-1 count back. It was foul tipped and make it 2-2. Out of his stretch goes Clayton Kershaw, and the 2-2 pitch coming up. Swung on, ground ball to the left of Furcal. He comes up with it and throws to first. Scoring is Sandoval. Taking third is Uribe, and the Dodger lead is 3-1. So Renteria, a ground out, but a run batted in, and the Giants are on the board. The Uribe now at third base. That puts a little extra pressure. And Aaron Rowan checks in at the plate, and they are going to walk him intentionally with 2 out. So Rowan batting 8th, hitting .239, 8 home runs, 27 runs batted in, and they've decided that they would rather go after Tim Lincecum. For Kershaw, by the way, with a runner at third, he has 4 wild pitches. So Lincecum with the bat is hitting .119. He has 5 hits. He has 3 runs batted in, and he has struck out 25% of the time, so that makes him dangerous as a pitcher. So first and third, 2 out, a run in, and the Dodgers lead the Giants 3-1.
Pitcher number 55, Tim Lincecum.
Lincecum bats left-handed, and Kershaw backs off the rubber for the moment. All right, Lincecum ready with 2 out and runners at the corners. Kershaw out of that high stretch, holding the ball high over his head. Breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 to count. Giants, seeing the Dodgers scored 3 in the first, try to come back and have gotten 1. And the strike 1 pitch to Tim Lincecum, swung on and missed. 0-2. So Kershaw trying to use him as an escape hatch. Clayton Looks down the barrel to get a sign from Martin. Now the strike 2 pitch to Tim Lincecum is taken. Strike 3 called, and that'll do it. 3 strikeouts now in the game for Kershaw, but he gives up a run. And at the end of an inning and a half, Dodgers 3, Giants 1. To get the outs in the second inning, surrendering a run in the process. And now in the bottom of the second, it'll be Casey Blake leading off and taking a strike. 0-1. So Blake, Martin, and Kershaw in that order. 3-1 Dodgers. Lincecum comes back 0-1, and the ball slips out of his hand and lands a good 25-30 feet, almost halfway between the mound and home plate. Now, we've talked about the soap bubble of Vicente Padilla. This was just a slip. Casey Blake didn't quite know what to do with it. It certainly wasn't on purpose. It was like trying to throw a wet bar of soap. 1 ball and 1 strike. Padilla thinking, I'm sure, oh, they're trying to steal my act. But that would go back to Rip Sewell and the old blooper pitch a long, long time ago. All right, 1-1 the count to Casey Blake. Fastball is high, ball 2. Lincecum has had a little bit of trouble with control anyway. Pitch behind in the first inning, and the Dodgers scored 3. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that drops low, ball 2. So Lincecum behind in the count, 2-1. Dodgers taking advantage of it, leading the Giants 3-1. 2-1 pitch is fouled away. Some notes about Lincecum. His career earned run average makes him number 5 among active pitchers. Coming in, he had the second best winning percentage to John Lester. I mean, he's high up in a lot of areas. 2-2 pitch is low. He is second, however, in 3-0 counts. So that would be a mark against him. Pitching 3-0 is certainly not recommended. The 3-2 pitch is swung on, a hopper into left field for a base hit. So Casey Blake opens up with a single to left, and the batter will be Russell Martin. When you look at Tim Lincecum, the way he pitched against the Dodgers back in the middle of April, in that game he went 6 innings, struck out 7, and allowed just 4 hits and no runs. But he is far off that line as of right now. Each of his last 2 outings he has been tremendous, allowing 1 earned run in 16 innings, but not tonight. So here is Martin, and he has a look at ball 1. So Lincecum again continues to be pitching behind. Martin taking a look at Larry Boa. On deck, Clayton Kershaw. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way as Blake takes his lead. And the pitch to Martin in for a strike, and the count 1-1. Interesting how they break the count down and how Lincecum has fared. For instance, the count now is 1-1. The opposition hitting .407 on that count. Lincecum delivers, ground foul outside of third down the line. When the count went to 3-1 to Casey Blake, he's single to left. Hitters are hitting over 500 against Lincecum on that 3-1 count. Tim with a record of 10-4, and Martin waiting, hitting .248. Dodgers lead 3-1 second inning. Lincecum looks over at Blake, comes back to Martin, and it's in there. Strike 3 call. So Martin turns frustrated, walks away. For Lincecum, that would be his first strikeout.
Number 22, Clayton Kershaw.
Just drilled it with a fastball at the knees. In looking at his performance, Lincecum has had an 11 strikeout game. That was back in April against the Phillies. His high in strikeouts, he had 15. That was against Pittsburgh last year. He also had 13 against Florida this year. So one away. Blake at first. We'll see if Kershaw's bunting, and shows bunt, pulls the bat back, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Clayton Kershaw is very, very advanced with the bat in bunting. He has 10 sacrifices. High on the staff. Hiroki Kuroda has 7. 0-1 the count to Clayton Kershaw. Shows bunt and gets it down. It almost hit him. And the throw to first in time for the out. So Kershaw, fortunately for him, got the bat up and got the bunt down. That was a tough pitch to handle, a fastball up. And Kershaw had to turn his head, and the ball hit the bat. So 11 sacrifices for Clayton Kershaw, certainly helping his own cause. And the batter now will be Rafael Furcal. Boys in the dugout know how tough it is, and Kershaw gets 5s as he gets back in to take a seat. So here is Furcal. Walked, stole a base, and scored in the first inning. He is hit safely in 18 out of 20. And the first pitch to him is low, ball 1. I don't know whether Lincecum has had a first pitch strike tonight, maybe 1 or 2. Most of the time missing on the first pitch. Lincecum has been hurt a little bit. He has given up 16 infield hits this year. Furcal promptly bangs one down the right field line. Foul ball. Bouncing up into the stands, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So back to second base goes Casey Blake, who opened up the inning with a single, and Rafael coming back to pick up the bat. The chances with Lincecum diminish as the game continues. From the 7th to the 9th inning, his earned run average is 1. Though the Dodgers made hay a little early with 3 in the first inning. Now Furcal back up to the plate, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. Lincecum ready. Tim deals. Fastball hit on the hands. Little hopper to Sanchez, who makes the play, and that's that. So a leadoff single. Casey Blake is left, and at the end of 2, Dodgers 3, Giants 1. been a strange cloud over this series. Last night, a couple of questionable plays on the infield and resultant runs. We don't want to jam it in, but if we have time, right now Andres Torres is at the plate, but it has to do with Casey Blake. That's a strike, 0-1. Remember when Casey Blake was batting and that ball slipped out of Lincecum's hands and flew high in the air? Strike one pitch on the way is fouled away, 0-2. Well, it was not counted as a pitch, and yet he actually went into the windup. So if we can, as soon as we have a disposition of Torres, we'll try to duck in Casey Blake's at bat. Here's the strike two pitch on the way, very high, ball one. Torres hit by a pitch in the first inning, hitting .278. Clayton ready now, and the 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on, fouled at the plate, though he is still there. Again, just as soon as we have that at bat for Torres, we're going to try and show you what took place with Casey Blake. Rather interesting. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming up to Andres Torres. Kershaw ready, delivers in the dirt. Blocked by Martin, but a check swing for strike three. Okay, let's go. Here's Casey Blake. Casey at the bat, and count the pitches. Here's the first one, fastball, a strike. Next pitch slipped. It should be 1 ball and 1 strike. If that's right, that's ball 2, 2-1. That's low, ball 3, 3-1. That's fouled away, and that should have been ball 4. But instead, he got an extra pitch and single to left field. Strange things going on. Meanwhile, a soft line drive to Blake DeWitt. He doesn't even throw to first because he had caught it before it hit the ground. And we have 2 down in the third inning. By the way, getting that extra pitch really helped Casey Blake. Asterisk footnote, Blake had been 0 for 10 with 7 strikeouts against Lincecum. He should have gotten a walk, but because of the extra pitch, he got a base hit. The pitch now to Buster Posey outside, ball 1, 1-0. Posey hit into a double play. He has a 13-game hitting streak and lays off a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Buster hitting .348, 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball low, ball 2, 2-1. Remember, Kershaw made 43 pitches in the first 2 innings. He got some help from Torres and Sanchez here in the third. The 2-1 pitch swung on, hard ground ball to DeWitt. Blake stays with it, and it's a nice, easy inning. Just when Kershaw needed it, he made only 10 pitches, and at the end of 2.5 innings, 3-1 Dodgers. Rafael Fricall home in the first inning. Big crowd on hand. James Loney bobblehead night, and they are here. And so is Xavier Paul, 1 for 1, hitting .258 with a run batted in. Uribe plays up on the grass. Sandoval even with the bag at first, and the pitch to Paul, full swing, drive, foul into the stands alongside the right field foul line, and the count 0-1. Seeing Xavier Paul in the lineup playing left field reminds us about Manny Ramirez. The word on Ramirez is not particularly encouraging at all, but Paul meanwhile slaps it into center and goes 2 for 2 against Lincecum. And the batter will be Andre Ethier. You know, the Dodgers opening day outfield comes to life, a series of collectible action figures, and the final giveaway game is Thursday. The first 15,000 kids 14 and under receive their own mini Manny, presented by Farmer John. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. So here's the first inning hero. Usually it's the 9th inning, but he struck in the Act 1 tonight. Ethier's 2-run home run in the first inning. He takes a breaking ball low, ball 1. We were talking and questioning the fact that Lincecum is not getting that first pitch over for a strike. And usually that's the rule, get that first pitch for a strike and get the leadoff man, and he hasn't been able to do that at all. Fricall walked in the first, Blake singled in the second, Paul singles in the third. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Andre Ethier, and that's taken for ball 2. Strangely enough, the only 4 times tonight that Lincecum got the first pitch over for a strike, he gave up Paul's double, Ethier's home run, Blake's single, and Kershaw's sacrifice. 2-0 the count, behind to yet another hitter, and now he's 3-0. In looking at Lincecum's work during the year, he had 3 consecutive games where he walked 5 men in each game. That would be the big bump in the road for him. 3-0 the count to Ethier. Runner going, and the pitch is outside for ball 4. They threw down to second, but there was no call apparently, and so Xavier Paul slides when he didn't have to. No indication. That's always bad to see. The umpires are out there to help everybody, not only the fans, but also the players. So there was no sign. Paul was going on a 3-0 pitch and slid in on ball 4. So you have 2 on, nobody out, and the batter James Loney, who grounded out to the right side in the first inning. So Loney hitting .306, 6 home runs, 64 runs batted in. Lincecum in some more trouble. Fastball, a strike, 0-1. So we'll see now if that first pitch strike pays off again for the Dodgers. 3-1 in favor of the Dodgers. Third inning with Paul at second, Ethier at first, and nobody out. Lincecum set at the belt. Tim comes back over the top, and it's fouled away. And the count 0-2. We were mentioning Manny Ramirez, and then a lot of stuff got on. And here it is. They had asked Joe Torre, do you think Manny Ramirez will be back in 2 weeks? And Joe said it may be a little longer. It's a significant strain. We're expecting him back in about 3 weeks. Big disappointment because we had just gotten him back. Loney lifts one into shallow center. Coming in is Rowan. Aaron waiting, makes the catch. The runners have nowhere to go. And with 1 away, the batter will be Matt Kemp. So what started out as a tightness in the calf was extended to, well, he won't play in St. Louis on Saturday and Sunday, but he might be ready on Monday. Then Monday came along. That being yesterday, he couldn't play. Then they decided we better have an MRI. And now, for Joe Torre, it looks like he will have lost Manny Ramirez for at least 3 weeks. So 3 weeks, That would get them to a road trip in August. The pitch of the plate, Kemp takes inside at his feet, so there's Lincecum behind again. 1 ball and no strikes. Kemp hitting .262, 16 home runs, 54 runs batted in, flied to right field in the first inning, with Paul and Ethier out there and 1 away. The next one is swung on and missed. A curveball and balances it out. 1-1. Dodgers 3, Giants 1, bottom of the third. Dodgers scored 3 in the first. Giants got 1 in the second. Lincecum at the belt, comes right back. Fastball low and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. They all have tough nights. But if you had been away and this is your first game and someone said, see this fella, he's won consecutive Cy Young awards, you'd say, no, not this fella. It must be somebody else with long hair. The 2-1 pitch to Kemp is slapped to right field. Coming up for it is Torres and gets it back to the infield. So Matt Kemp, line drive out to right, and the batter will be Blake DeWitt. So Matt hit that right on the screws, but Torres reacted quickly and made the play on a sinking line drive. Blake DeWitt, a fly ball to right center in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Blake hitting .270, 1 home run, 29 runs batted in, and on deck, Casey Blake. I'm sure Casey's not aware that he got an extra pitch and finally got a base hit. The first pitch to DeWitt, it's in there for a strike. That's news. 0-1. Yes, Casey, 0 for 10 with 7 strikeouts, but on a 6-pitch at bat instead of walking, he had that extra pitch and got a base hit to left field. Strike 1 pitch on the way, inside. 1-1. After all, that pitch that got away from Lincecum came out of a usual wind-up and delivery. The umpires lost the count. 1-1 the count. The pitch to DeWitt is taken off the plate. Ball 2. 2-1. Lincecum, an even 6, about 170 pounds. He had a bit of a growth spurt. The next pitch is fouled away. And looking back to see about Lincecum, when he was a freshman in high school, he was 4 feet 11 and weighed 85 pounds. When he was a sophomore, he was 5'2" and weighed 100 pounds. When he was a junior, he was 5'7", 125. Ground ball into right field. Rounding third is Paul. A throw to the plate, not in time, and the Dodgers lead 4-1. So Blake DeWitt grounding a single to right field, and it is a far cry from the Tim Lincecum you're accustomed to seeing, and the Dodgers are taking advantage of it. So Blake DeWitt grounding a single to right to cash in Paul. Andre Ethier going all the way to third on the base hit. So the Dodgers 4 runs, 5 hits in 2 2/3 innings against Lincecum. And here is Blake, who singled in the second inning instead of getting the walk that he should have gotten. And the pitch to Casey, foul back to the screen. 0-1. Here's the pitch that didn't count. It was so spectacular the umpires forgot to keep the count. While warming up between innings, he also had it happen. So he's having a lot of trouble with his grip, and that's a ball hit down the left field line, and it's going to drop fair. Scoring easily is Ethier. There'll be runners at second and third, and the Dodgers lead 5-1. Bruce Bochy talking to Dave Righetti and sending his pitching coach out to the mound. So 2 more come in. Efi is scoring easily. Blake DeWitt now winding at third as Casey Blake doubles in a run. So the Dodgers 5 runs and 6 hits against Lincecum, and Blake 2 for 2. The Russell Martin coming up. 2 out, first base open. Are they going to put him on and pitch to Kershaw? Yes, they are. So the Dodgers walk Aaron Rowan in the second inning. That made a lot of sense. And this makes a lot of sense to walk Martin and try and get out of the inning against Kershaw. No one throwing in the Giant bullpen. But the Dodgers enjoying a 5-1 lead here in the third inning. Furcal has scored. Xavier Paul has scored twice. Ethier has scored twice. Another thing about Tim Lincecum tonight, he is not able to throw the ball by a hitter. He's gotten only 2 swings and misses tonight, and Bochy is well aware of that. So with 2 out, here is Kershaw. Bases loaded, Dodgers leading 5-1, and they're moving around now in the Giant bullpen. Lincecum at the belt, and then Kershaw backs out. Denny Bautista begins to warm up down in the pen. He's a right-hander. DeWitt, Blake, and Martin out on the lines. And the pitch from Lincecum, a strike, 0-1. Well, we were talking at the start of the game about how these two match up and how they'll probably be facing each other for many years to come. Talking about Koufax and Marichal and Drysdale and Marichal. There's a fly ball to the gap. Aaron Rowan's going to make the catch, and that'll be that. However, at least in this match tonight, it's Lincecum who looks like he's going to go out on his shield. And at the end of 3, Dodgers 5, Giants 1. At Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. We go to the 4th inning, 5-1 in favor of the Dodgers. A bad night so far, certainly for Tim Lincecum, who is way off his form. He came in here having allowed 1 run in 16 innings. He had won 50 games in a brilliant career, but he has struggled ever since the first pitch to Rafael Furcal. So Lincecum sits back, and the Dodgers now will be facing Burrell, Sandoval, and Uribe. Strike. Burrell struck out in the second inning. That's a strike. 5 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 1 hit for the Giants. That was Uribe's double. 0-2 to Burrow. Pat's a big guy facing another big one in Clayton Kershaw. Clayton made 43 pitches in the first 2 innings and then had a 10-pitch third inning. Clayton meanwhile will throw out Burrow, and we have 1 away. Pablo Sandoval coming up. He walked, came around to score the Giant run in the 2nd inning. See Sandoval, what he's doing? He's out in front of home plate. He goes through a routine, winds up hitting himself in the helmet with the bat, and then finally gets in the batter's box. He does this all the time. Little ground ball to Blake. So just imagine after all of that, you come up to home plate, you go out in front of home plate, you pound the bat down, you do a whole big number, you hit yourself on top of the helmet with the bat, and you're swinging the first pitch and you're back in the dugout, spending more effort getting ready than actually playing. The 2 down, and here is Uribe. Double to the gap in right center to drive in Sandoval. That's a strike. 0-1 to Jose. In the dirt. That took a bite out of Martin. 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, that hard slider in the middle 80s. I think Kershaw questioning, are you okay? And Martin kind of touched his chest protector as if say, it got me here. 1-1. Two and 1. Uribe hitting .256. Ball 3. Uribe has some power, 12 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Popped up. Loney in foul ground. And that'll be that. So another 10-pitch inning for Kershaw. That means 63 pitches in 4 innings, and it's 5-1 Dodgers. All of the things, the high kick, the leaning back, The long, unusual stride, the body twisting, and all before he releases the ball. Well, it's like having a car with a lot of toys on it. You just increase the chance of something going wrong. And when you deliver the ball like Lincecum does, everything has to be right or trouble. And he's had trouble tonight. There's ball 2, and certainly with his control. The leaning back in his delivery was one thing that scouts really worried about, and why they didn't sign him. They thought the delivery would wreck his arm. You can see how he's leaning back. Well, that's one of the things the scouts all said, no way this kid's going to survive. He's going to wreck his arm. But that's the way his dad taught him to pitch. And his father said, please don't correct him. And Dave Righetti, a left-handed pitcher, a solid pitching coach, possessor of a no-hitter, he leaves Lincecum alone. That's just not the kind of a delivery that you can really help. Remember the great hitter Mel Ott with the Giants, and John McGraw saw Mel Ott, a left-handed batter, lift his right leg high in the air before he swung the bat, and McGraw said, I want that kid sitting next to me, because if he goes to the minor leagues, they'll monkey around with his batting style. Well, Furcal is done, 1 away here in the 4th inning. So the same thing with Lincecum. The Giants say he is highly unusual. There are those who call him the freak, not really to make fun of him, but the fact that he appears to violate all of the rules about pitching, let's say, in a healthy way. But he has 2 Cy Young awards, and that's something. Oh, and 1 to count. That's a strike. By the way, confession is good for the soul. And remember, we were talking and showing you that pitch that Tim Lincecum made to Casey Blake. Fouled away. And we then went through the pitching. Here's the pitch. Now watch where the ball goes. That turns out to be important. And the ball stays in front of home plate. Now there's a big reason why we bring that up. Ground ball to first. That'll be the 2nd out. According to the rule, when a ball slips out of a pitcher's hand, it has to cross the foul line to be called a ball. Otherwise, it will be no pitch. Had there been somebody on base, there would have been a balk. So actually, here we are saying the umpires forgot the count, and we doff the cap and apologize to them. Our mistake. The ball did not cross the foul line, consequently no pitch. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. Popped up, Edgar Renteria. That'll be that. So a slip of the mound and a slip of the tongue. And at the end of 4, it's 5-1 Dodgers. To the fifth inning. Our text question tonight: which of these players is most likely to be traded before the deadline? Prince Fielder, Adam Dunn, or Dan Herron? Text your answer to 86212. Be interesting to get your thinking. Use the cell phone. That's a strike to Edgar Renteria. Then Aaron Rowland and Tim Lincecum. 5-1 Dodgers, top of the fifth. For Clayton Kershaw, pitch count is always extremely important. He has made 63 pitches through 4. Hard ground ball to Furcal. One away.
Center fielder, number 33, Aaron Rowland.
Aaron Rowland coming up, received the intentional walk in the second inning. Aaron hitting .239, 8 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Fouled away. Rowland has his own bit of history. The microphone that he wore in the 2005 World Series. He was the first player ever mic'd for a series. That's a strike. 0-2. Mike or no Mike, down he goes. And for Clayton Kershaw now, he is starting to really let out a string. He's retired 9 in a row since he walked Rowland intentionally in the second inning. So with 2 out in the fifth, Tim Lincecum at the plate. Fastball strike, 0-1. Kershaw has struck out 5, on the edge of making it 6. Dodgers 5, Giants 1, fifth inning. 6 strikeouts. Kershaw has now retired 10 in a row, and at the end of 4.5 innings, walk off holding on to a 5-1 lead. Bottom of the fifth with Loney, Kemp, and DeWitt against Tim Lincecum, who up to now has had an off night. In direct contrast, Clayton Kershaw has been breezing, retiring the last 10 in a row, and in the last inning made only 9 pitches. 1-0 to Loney, grounded to second, fly to center, batting .305. High fly ball. Aaron Rowand out there taking charge. Center field is always the captain, and with one away, Matt Kemp coming up. Big crowd on hand. James Loney bobblehead night. Some bobblehead nights, the man in question has come up with the right answers. Loney tonight, however, so far drawing blanks. Ball one. Matt hitting .261, flied to right, and lined out to right. Well. 2-0 the count. Fastball really takes off. And hits him. Whoa. Now Matt Kemp is starting to walk to the mound, and the plate umpire gets between Kemp and Lincecum. A warning to each dugout, but of course the damage has already been done. Lincecum, prior to tonight, had hit one batter, and the Dodgers are furious. Why should they get a warning? And the veteran Tim McClellan is saying, calm down over there. Bob Schaefer is furious, and Dave Righetti going out to the mound. Joe Torre's going to come out now and talk to the umpire. And we mentioned Adrian Johnson figured to have his hands full tonight. So Kemp gets buried, then he gets hit, and the Dodgers get warned. And Adrian Johnson talking to Joe Torre. So Lincecum, in about 130 innings, had hit one batter. And after knocking Kemp down, he hits him. And Matt goes to first. Kemp, by the way, has been hit only once until tonight. And looking to try and figure it all out, Matt Kemp was 2 for 17 against Tim Lincecum. I repeat that, 2 for 17, not exactly posing a big threat. So Lincecum dusts him off and then nails him, and the batter is Blake DeWitt. Now Matt, of course, would love to steal a base. It's about the only answer he has right now. Matt has stolen 15 and been caught 11 times. That's off the plate. As wild as Lincecum has, walking for Call in the first, Ethier in the third, and he also walked Martin intentionally. 1 ball, no strikes. And that's a crack bat, I think, for a base hit. And Kemp is on his way to third, and he is out at third. I think Matt was running with a little angry on the play just to try and take the extra base. And back into the dugout he goes. So Kemp hit by a pitch. Then the flare to right field. He took one look at Torres and decided, I'm not going to stop. Good throw to Uribe, and he came off the bag. Otherwise, he had the play beaten. There's the foot off the bag and the big out. Now Bruce Bochy has gone out. I think Lincecum has about had it. And down in the bullpen, the reliever will be coming in. Tim Lincecum did not look like Tim Lincecum tonight unless he had a crew cut. And we'll be back. But you were looking at a pitcher far off the mark tonight, who, among other things, had a ball slip out of his hand. It even slipped out when he was warming up between innings. Then he knocks Kemp down and then promptly hits him. And, of course, the umpires immediately rule intent, and it's really hard to figure that out. I mean, first of all, it's not as if Kemp was wearing out Lincecum at all. Matt 0 for 2 and just 2 for 17. So we can't rule intent. And Matt said, yeah, easy for you to say. I took one in the back. So Denny Bautista will pick up the pieces for Tim Lincecum. And ball one. Bautista 2-0, hasn't worked a lot. He's from the Dominican, lives in Santo Domingo, originally signed by the Marlins back in '99. Foul back. One thing about Bautista, you look at him, and I don't know if you've ever heard of the nickname High Pockets. There was a ball player named High Pockets Kelly many years ago. He is 6'5", and at least in the stands looking out at him, a lot of legs. Or as the ladies would say, high-waisted. A drive to the gap, and right center, Torres on the dead run and catches up to it. A fine play by Andres Torres. So no runs, one hit, a man left, and at the end, 5-1 Dodgers. The name Bill Singer. He was a 20-game winner for the Dodgers in 1969. The following year, on this day in 1970, Bill Singer, big right-hander, pitched a no-hitter against the Philadelphia Phillies. He had to overcome two big errors. By the way, he made both errors, but he did it and pitched the no-hitter. Billy was called Billy No-No. He had a funny habit. When he ran, his head kept going back and forth, and the players immediately called him Billy No-No. Let's go back to this one. Yes, yes. 5-1 in favor of the Dodgers. Sixth inning. Clayton Kershaw had retired 10 in a row. In there. 1-1 the count to Andres Torres, who made that good play on the ball hit by Blake. Andres has been hit by a pitch and struck out. He was hit on the hand in the first inning. Then Kemp was hit in the fifth, and it was ruled intent and a warning issued to both benches. 1-2. Fly ball, shallow left for call is calling. 1 away in the sixth inning. 11 in a row retired by Clayton. The run he surrendered in the second inning. He had struck out Burrell, but he walked Sandoval on a 3-2 pitch, and then Uribe doubled into the right center field gap. Sandoval scored, but that's it. He's allowed one run on one hit. One out. Right. Freddie Sanchez struck out and lined out. He went 1 for 5 last night. 1-1 on that curveball. Tomorrow night, the concluding game of the series, and that'll be Barry Zito and Chad Billingsley. And Billingsley making his own notes. Line drive, base hit to center. So Sanchez, a bullet up the middle with one out, and the batter will be Buster Posey. And a reminder, bring your kids to Dodger Stadium, and with the purchase of every adult ticket on the field or Lowe's level, kids 14 and under are just $5. For details, visit Dodgers.com/special. That's a great idea. Well, here's Posey, hit into a double play and grounded out. Sanchez at first, one away. Now back. The Giants are not a running ball club, as we mentioned earlier in the first inning. Torres has stolen 17 bases. All of the other Giants combined have stolen 18. Though he's really the single threat. That's a strike. 0-2 to Buster Posey. We were talking about over the years, it figures that Kershaw and Lincecum will tangle. And boy, how many times will Kershaw and Posey go head to head? 0-2. In the dirt. Nice block by Martin. Posey is 23. Kershaw is 22. Buster's full name, Gerald Dempsey Buster Posey III. 2-2. Five runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 2 hits for the Giants. And almost hit him. Ball 3. And of course the crowd reacts. Kershaw has hit 5 and then he hit one tonight. So he has hit 6. Fouled away. Dodgers scored 3 in the first, 2 in the third. Giants run came in the second. And that's going to go into right center, base hit, and it will allow Sanchez to go to third. The throw by Ethier not in time. So first and third with 1 out in the 6th inning. Posey 1 for 3 tonight, but that base hit also means he is hit in 14 straight. So he's one of those rare rookies in his first year. Heck, in his first month, he's already had 2 double-digit hitting streaks. So here is Pat Burrell, struck out, grounded out, 0 for 2. And ball 1. So the Giants right now get their second look at the game. They had a little bit of a rally for a run in the 2nd inning. Kershaw then retired 11 in a row. And now Giants trying to get off the floor. 1-0 to Pat in the dirt. Remember, Kershaw with that great 12-6 curveball is also inclined to let one get away. 4 wild pitches, and Sanchez down the line from third. Posey at first with 1 out. Two and 0 to Pat Burrell. Fouled away. Burrell, way back when, had a lot of power. Going back to 2002, he had 37 home runs. He had 33 home runs just 2 years ago. 2-1. And ball 3 waiting on deck. Pablo Sandoval. Pretty big pitch, 3-1 to Burrell. Kershaw walked Sandoval in the 1st inning. His only walk. And a high fly ball to left field. Back goes Paul to the track at the wall. Drops it. And a run will score, and there are runners at 2nd and 3rd. Xavier Paul went to the wall, caught it and dropped it. Take another look. For a moment it looked like home run, then the ball seemed to die right into his glove, only to have it come out. Making a one-handed catch. Right there's bad news anyway. So the Giants get a huge break. It'll be an error charged to Xavier Paul. Sanchez scores, and it is ruled a scoring fly ball. Even had he caught it, the run would have scored. But now it is 5-2 Dodgers, but there are runners at 2nd and 3rd, and one tough hombre coming up, Pablo Sandoval. So Burrell is at 2nd, Posey is at 3rd, 1 away. I think Burrell can't believe he didn't hit it out. So for Kershaw, trying to pull himself together now and face Sandoval. Sandoval against Kershaw coming into the game was 0 for 4, and he is 0 for 1 tonight. First base open. And in the dirt, nice block by Martin. Ball 1. Five runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Giants. 1 out. Fouled away. 1-1 to Sandoval. Hitting .272. 6 home runs, 39 runs batted in. Sandoval, we mentioned before, is ambidextrous. He was a left-handed throwing right fielder, and then idolized Omar Vizquel, wanted to play shortstop, so he taught himself to throw right-handed, and it's carried over to his hitting. Hit down the line, but it's slicing foul. 1-2 the count. So a big moment in the ball game. Dodgers led 3-0, 3-1, 5-1. Now the drop fly ball makes it 5-2 and puts runners in scoring position with a big hitter at the plate. For Kershaw, laboring in this inning now. This will be his 23rd pitch. He had made 29 pitches in the last 3 innings. Line drive down the line, just fair. 2 runs will score, and into second base goes Sandoval, and the Giants are right back in the game. Dodgers 5, Giants 4, and boy, that ball was blistered. So Sandoval all over that pitch. High fastball, and I mean, he just clubbed it right down in the corner, fair by inches, and 2 big runs come home. So 5 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers, 4 runs, 4 hits for the Giants. Tying run at second with 1 out. Uribe 1 for 2 at the plate, fouls it away. Uribe doubled in a run in the second inning, fouled out to Loney in the 4th. Well, in case you forgot, it's the Giants and the Dodgers. We've had knockdown pitchers and a scrambled egg game. 0-1. Shattered bat, ground ball to Casey Blake, empty out, and Edgar Renteria will be coming up. And of course, for Kershaw, he keeps Sandoval at second. And for someone with that hellacious curveball and the 4 wild pitches, better at second than at third. Renteria twice playing pepper with Rafael Furcal, his opposite number. Edgar 0 for 2, hitting .297. Renteria will be 34 next week. That's ball 1. Growing up in Colombia, Edgar's sport was soccer. 1 ball and no strikes. Ground ball foul. Renteria has been playing in the big league since 1996 when he helped the Marlins win the championship, and he can always tell the grandkids that he knocked in the winning run in the extra innings of Game 7 of the World Series. For Clayton Kershaw, this will be his 100th pitch. So the pitches have really mounted in this inning. That almost slipped and got away. 2-1. 100th. His high in pitch count this year. 117. He's done that twice. 2-1. And ball 3. On deck, Aaron Rowan. Kershaw still throwing hard enough. I mean, as far as the velocity is concerned, 91 on that last pitch. Curveball, and he was way out in front of it. 3-2. So I think on a 3-1 count, Edgar was looking fastball and way out in front on the curve. Renneria 3 years ago hit .332 for the Braves. That was quite a year. Fastball, that's hit to the gap. Here comes Ethier to pick it off. However, the Giants get a break on a drop fly ball in left field, score 3, and it's 5-4 Dodgers. Headline: Prince Fielder, Adam Dunn, or Dan Haren. 49% of you say Dan Haren, 26% Prince Fielder, 25% Adam Dunn. But remember, text your answer 86212 on your cell, and we'll see how your guess works out. Meanwhile, Martin, Kershaw, and Furcal against Denny Bautista. 5-4 Dodgers. Martin has struck out, walked intentionally, ball one. And now Bob Schaefer, who was furious, is now got and is thrown out. So Schaefer, who could not understand why the Dodgers were warned after Tim Lincecum knocked down Kemp and then hit him. Now he's furious that Martin is almost hit. Tim McClellan comes out and Schaefer saying fertilizer, fertilizer. No darn way, or reasonable facsimile. A little more fertilizer and Schaefer's gone. Bob's been angry ever since Kemp was knocked down and then hit. And now this pitch to Martin. Torrey talking to McClellan, and this is a replay because Schaefer's gone. It is so hard, as we mentioned earlier. I mean, you can become passionate about it. You can argue in the stands. But the hardest thing of all is for an umpire to infer intent. All right, Martin with a 1-ball, no strike count. Giants and Dodgers have only played 8 times. That's a strike. So one more tomorrow night. Chad Billingsley and Barry Zito. 1-1. Ball 2. On deck, Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw made more pitches in the 6th inning than he made in the 3 previous innings. He had made 29 pitches in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 31 in the 6th inning alone. So his pitch count is up to 103, and that's an important note. Look out, ball 3. In looking at Denny Bautista's work, he has walked 23, struck out 35, and hit 1. Three and 1. And a fly ball to shallow left. Burl is there. 1 away, and Clayton Kershaw coming up. Kershaw has sacrificed and flied to center, 0 for 1. Tim McClellan moving around a little bit around first base. Maybe somebody was hollering from the dugout, so time called. Then Tim went back to his position, and the Giants will huddle on the mound. Adrian Johnson, the plate umpire, going out there to hurry things along. And Kershaw is probably saying, boy, I have never had a meeting at the mound when I'm the hitter. Denny Bautista out there on the mound is a distant cousin of Ramon and Pedro Martinez. And ball 1. Boy, Denny has been with a lot of teams, starting 11 seasons ago. He's been constantly moving. We'll just give you the major league teams: Baltimore, Kansas City, Colorado, Detroit, Pittsburgh, San Francisco. In there. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Hong-Chi Kuo begins to warm up. Little foul ball. We knew that Jonathan Broxton was not going to be the closer last night, and we understand that he is not going to be asked to close tonight. Last night, Hong-Chi Kuo was going to close. Now they have Hong-Chi Kuo up here in the 6th inning. And of course, Jeff Weaver worked a strong relief last night. Well, we'll see what that means. Kuo is up early. Broxton on Sunday, trying to get all those outs, 5 of them, made 44 pitches. 3-2 to Kershaw. Got him. So 2 down in the 6th inning, and the batter will be Rafael Furcal. Furcal began the night getting a walk, stole second, might have been out. It was a short hop throw from Posey to Renteria, and Renteria had the ball come out of his glove, and Furcal was safe. That was important because Xavier Paul followed with a double to drive him in. Since then, Furcal has grounded out and struck out, hitting .336. Ball 1. Rafael has hit safely in 18 of 20. Little wrinkle that's in there, the slider. 1-1. Fastball missed. According to the gun, that was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. They say he's been clocked up to 99. Check for a strike. Another fastball, 2-2. A few years ago, Bautista also had a knuckle curveball, but it was giving him arm problems, and he got rid of it. 2-2. In the dirt, 3-2. Trying to throw what they call a power curveball. That thing he bounced from 12 to 6. So basically, we've seen fastball, curveball, and straight change. And Xavier Paul waiting on deck. 3-2 to Rafael Furcal. 5-4 Dodgers. 6th inning. 2 out. Curveball got him, and that's that power curve. 84 miles an hour, and that was a beauty. So down go the Dodgers, and at the end of 6, 5-4 Dodgers. He got Burrell and then Lincecum. Went after Torres to get him for number 4. Then got Aaron Rowand and Lincecum a second time to give him a half a dozen. He was breezing through 5, struggled through 6. You look now at the 2 pitchers, and you can see it is just a 1-run difference. Although for Lincecum, it was just a bad night. Kershaw, however, still in there. And probably hits the pitch, and he's thrown out. Clayton Kershaw, in watching the plate umpire, has been ejected. Yep. So Aaron Rowand is hit by the pitch. Joe Torre will go out. He's already lost his bench coach. We'll see if Joe can hold himself together. Didn't realize how much meaning there was at the start of the game when we said the plate umpire is Adrian Johnson, and he figures to have his hands full. He's had 2 years in the big leagues. Though Clayton is kicked out. There's no doubt about it. He gets an ovation for hitting Rowan, I guess. Here's how it started in the 5th inning. Down went Matt Kemp. And if that wasn't enough, he got nailed. Adrian Johnson staying and making sure that Kemp did not carry it any further. Then Russell Martin is decked. Schaefer begins to holler. And Schaefer is kicked out of the game, but he decides to get his money worth. Then Kershaw goes to the mound and promptly nails Aaron Rowan. And by hitting Rowan, he puts the tying run on, nobody out. Now, if you're the Giants, we're talking about intent, right? How tough it is to figure. If you're the Giants, you're saying, wait a minute, that's why Quo was warming up before the inning started. I mean, if you're the Giants. We'll be back. We expected a pitching duel and a one-run game right down to the wire. But Tim Lincecum just didn't have it. He went 4 1/3, and the Dodgers touched him for 5. Watch Joe Torre and Don Mattingly leading the field, and we will see. You know, it used to be after a warning, if the pitcher hits the batter, not only is the pitcher kicked out, but so is the manager. So we assume that Joe Torre is back in the clubhouse. Mattingly, I assume, is replacing both Bob Schaefer and Joe Torre to run the club. Eugenio Velez at the plate, just called up from San Pedro de Macorís. Built like a graphite shaft. He's 6'1" and maybe 160 pounds. Very good defensive player. He can play a little infield and the outfield. He bunts, and it'll be Loney to DeWitt. So Velez moves his man along. Rowan representing the tying run at second base. I mean, let's face it, no one hits a leadoff batter in a one-run game in the 7th inning. But after everything else that preceded Rowan being hit, and the fact that Quo was throwing in the bullpen in the 6th inning, that was a little suspicious to the Giants. And so now the tying run's at second with 1 out. Right. Torres hit by a pitch. Yeah, that was the opening act. He was hit in the very first inning leading off. Since then, struck out, flied to left. There's a one hopper hard, but right at DeWitt. 2 down. Rowan, the tying run, is 90 feet away now. And the batter, Freddie Sanchez. Sanchez struck out, lined out, and singled 1 for 3. He is 2 for 8 in the 2 games. And of course, a former National League batting champion. He commands a great deal of respect. Hitting a solid .275. And a strike. As we always do, with a runner at third, we check wild pitches, and Hung Chi Kuo has zip, none. Rowan at third, the tying run. 1 ball and 1 strike. (5-4) Dodgers, 2 out, 7th inning. A shattered bat, soft line drive for the 3rd out. No runs, a hit batter. The Dodgers get out of the scrape, losing their starting pitcher and their manager in the process. And now the crowd will be asked to sing "God Bless America" and "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join in the singing of "God Bless America." Once again, accompanied by Nancy B., please welcome Kimberly Caldwell.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
360 3D attraction at Universal Studios Hollywood. 5-4 in favor of the Dodgers, bottom of the 7th inning. And coming out of the bullpen, hard-throwing Santiago Casilla. One of those fellas from the Dominican who would be listed as a player to be named later. He was known as Jairo Garcia, but when they finally checked him out, he aged 2 years and 10 months. Jairo Santiago was called up 6 years ago. And Santiago Casilla, arose by any other name, is a hard-throwing right-hander. He is an even 6'1", 190, 30 years old. His fastball has been clocked to 97. Pretty good curve and a slider. And he's been working on a changeup and a splitter as well. Xavier Paul, followed by Andre Ethier and James Loney. Fastball. Xavier Paul doubled in a run, singled and scored a run, grounded out, and dropped a fly ball that he attempted to catch one-handed, and that helped the Giants get back into the game. So he's been busy. Ball 2. In looking at Casilla's numbers, he comes in 2-2. More importantly, 13 walks, 27 strikeouts, so 2-1. Two and 0. Fastball clocked at 97. I don't believe Xavier Paul fouled that back. So the count 3-0. We saw Casilla up at AT&T Park. That was one area where we knew he threw hard. And now our gun down here is showing the same thing. In there. Four of the last 5, Casilla has shut down the opponent, so Paul is trying to break through. Starting off here in the 7th inning. A reminder, it's Billingsley and Zito tomorrow night. 3-1. Line drive down the right field line, fair ball. The comeback right to Torres, but Paul runs well with his second double of the night and his third hit. So Xavier Paul for the second time tonight, a double. Now you have Ethier, Loney, and Kemp trying to pick him up. Casilla, as a right-hander who throws so hard, has conflicting and extremely odd numbers. As a right-handed pitcher against right-hand batters, the right-handers are hitting .304 against him. Before he faced Xavier Paul, left-handers were hitting only .136 against him. So he doesn't do what you would expect him to do. And a fly ball to left field. Just like that, he gets Ethier. Chris Ray is up in the pen in case Casilla can't do the job. The batter will be James Loney. You know, the Coca-Cola Value Pack is now available Thursday and include 4 tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, 4 Cokes, and 4 Kemp action figures for $17 per seat. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/specials or call 866-DODGERS. So here's Loney. Grounded out, twice fly to center, 0 for 3. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. 4 runs, 4 hits for the Giants. Lincecum went out 4 1/3 innings. Kershaw went out after hitting the leadoff man. Kershaw ejected, and with the rules, so was his manager, Joe Torre. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 out. Ball 2. Last year, it worked just the opposite with Kershaw. Left-handers last year hit .354 against him. He's now going to walk Loney intentionally. And Matt Kemp will be coming up. Matt Kemp had flied to right against Lincecum. He had lined out to right against Lincecum. And he was hit by Lincecum after being flattened on the previous pitch. And that set the mood for the next few innings. So first and second, 1 away. And here's Kemp, 0 for 2. Matt, 16 home runs, 54 runs batted in. Ball 1. So Paul doubled, Ethier flied to left, Loney walked intentionally, and here's Kemp with DeWitt on deck. Giants in the 8th inning will have Posey, Burrell, and Sandoval. One and 0. That kind of tied up Posey. He might have been crossed up. Yeah, he had to be. That was not the pitch he was expecting. Watch the catcher. That thing really fooled him, and he did a good job. Okay, 1 fastball, 2 curve. Repeat after me. And now Bruce Bochy saying, wait a minute, if my battery's not on the same page. The boss wants an explanation on that last pitch. He gets it, and he goes back to the dugout. Bruce, of course, was a catcher in his playing days. So all he had to do was watch Posey as we did, and he knew something was wrong. Buster made a good play after being crossed up. All right, 2 on, 1 out, and a 2-0 count to Matt Kemp. Xavier Paul at second. James Loney at first. 1 out. Off the plate. 3-1 to count. So Kershaw, a classic case, somebody who throws hard, but he's fighting it. 3-1. Fouled away. 3-2. So you have a full count, and you have Matt Kemp at the plate. Kemp has struck out 102 times. He is grounded into 9 double plays, and you're leading by a run. And you have the left-hand hitting Blake DeWitt on deck. Big pitch, 7th inning, 5-4 Dodgers. Runners do not go. Ground ball to short. The feed, the turn, and that's it. Six-4-3 double play. No runs, 1 hit. Posey gets some pats on the back by Kershaw, and it's still 5-4. And we have finally reached the 8th inning with Posey, Burrell, and Sandoval checking in against Hung-Chi Kuo. Hung-Chi Kuo was warmed up and ready when Kershaw was ejected. Now on his own. That's a strike. Posey grounded into a double play, grounded out, single to right, scored a run. Buster hitting .350. 1-1. So Hung-Chi Kuo getting an early call. He was possibly going to be the closer last night, and tonight he got in the 7th inning. 2-1 to Posey. Buster, 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Two and two. Down at his feet. So 3-2 the count. When Rowan was hit on the hip in the 7th inning, the Giants had the tying run aboard. Now Burrell waiting to see if Posey can get aboard and be the tying run again. 3-2. Got him. It was to be Tim Lincecum, but it was not the true Tim Lincecum. In April, he went 6 innings here, struck out 7, and did not allow a run. Tonight, in constant trouble, lasted 4 2/3 and gave up 5 earned runs. So not quite as advertised tonight. That's a strike to Burrell. Burrell has struck out, grounded out, hit that long fly ball that was dropped by Xavier Paul in the 6th inning. And I think Pat really thought he had hit it out when he first hit it. One ball and 1 strike. And that's hit in the air to Kemp. And boy, it was just starting to take off. 2 down in the 8th inning. And Pablo Sandoval coming up. Sandoval walked and scored a run, grounded to third, and doubled in a couple in the 6th inning to get the Giants to within 1. Now you have a strikeout pitcher and a fellow who doesn't strike out very much in Sandoval. Quo has 37 strikeouts and 10 walks. Hard foul. 0-1. Sandoval has struck out 51 times this year. That's all. Oh and 1. 0-2. Fastball clocked around 96. San Diego lost today. Atlanta beat them 4-1. So the winner picks up a game tonight. Ball 1. Giants began 4 behind the Padres. Dodgers began 6 back. They have been 6 back at San Diego 4 times this year. Recently, May the 8th, and going into tonight. 1-2. Shattered bat, another one. Ground ball to Furcal. That'll be that. So Quo has restored order, retiring 6 in a row at the end of 7.5, 5-4 Dodgers. that's likely to be traded before the deadline. Prince Fielder, Adam Dunn, or Dan Herron. 60% of you, that's right, 60% said Dan Herron of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Meanwhile, bottom of the 8th, 5-4 Dodgers, and Blake DeWitt a strike. Down in the Dodger bullpen, although the early word had it that Broxton would not appear tonight, Big John is up. Quo has worked 2 innings. 0-2. The old story, desperate times need desperate measures. The Hung-Chi Quo pitched 2 innings, 7th and 8th. He was warming up really in the 6th. Good breaking ball. 0-2. Santiago Casilla. Originally signed 10 years ago by the A's. Fastball up in the very high 90s. 0-2. Casilla finally made it to the A's in 04, and he just kept going up and down from Oakland to Sacramento. That would be the story in 04, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finally spent 2 years. Off speed breaking ball, strike 3. So after a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, he comes back with that breaking ball to take care of DeWitt. Well, you might want to know the upcoming calendar schedule. Tomorrow, back on Prime Ticket, and that would be Barry Zito and Chad Billingsley. The Mets are in town. Thursday on KCAL 9. Friday on Prime Ticket. Saturday afternoon, the Fox Network. And then Sunday on Prime Ticket. And then the Dodgers go out on a brief road trip. They'll go to San Diego and San Francisco before coming back to play San Diego. So they'll start after the Mets. They will have 7 games against San Diego and 3 more with San Francisco. That's going to be quite a week and a half. Casey Blake singled after seeing that slip pitch from Tim Lincecum. Doubled. Went out to right. Comebacker to Casilla for the second out. Two out in the 8th inning, and Russell Martin coming up. If you are not keeping score and you wonder about the Giants in the 9th inning, they have Juan Uribe, Edgar Renteria, and Aaron Rowan. Among others, they have Nate Schierholtz waiting in the dugout, along with Travis Ishikawa and Aubrey Huff. So they have 3 left-hand hitters available to pinch hit if indeed Broxton is coming in instead of Quo. In the dirt. 2-0 the count. Rick Honeycutt checking the pen to see how Broxton is coming along. 2 balls and no strikes. Fly ball to right field. Torres is there. That'll be the 3rd out. So here come the Giants in the 9th inning. Dodgers 5, Giants 4, and Jonathan Broxton will be coming through the gate. We have made it to the ninth inning. 5-4 Dodgers. Close enough for the Giants to have had the tying run at third base in the seventh inning and come up short. So now in the ninth, Jamie Carroll comes into the game. He would bat ninth, and Jonathan Broxton would go into Blake DeWitt's spot if you're keeping score. So Jonathan trying to come back after that rocky Sunday in St. Louis, where he made 44 pitches and had one getaway. Didn't expect to see him tonight, but as we said, kind of desperate measures for the Dodgers, and they'll push him a little bit and ask the big man to get the 3 outs. He'll be facing Uribe and Renteria, and then we will see about the available left-hand hitters, and there are 3 of them in the Giant dugout. Giants are 13-15 in one-run games, 5-9 on the road. Ball 1. The Dodgers are 16-12 in one-run games, 11-4 at home. Uribe just 0 for 1 against Broxton. Juan hitting .254. One ball and 1 strike. Came inside on him with that 91-mile-an-hour fastball. If it gets a little bit, it did the mask of Adrian Johnson. Broxton 55 strikeouts and 9 walks. A little better than 6-1. One and 2. Dodgers scored 3 in the first inning. So they led 3-0, 3-1, 5-1, and the Giants in the 6th inning picked up 3 to cut it to 5-4. But among other things, the Dodgers had their bench coach Bob Schaefer kicked out. They had their starting pitcher Clayton Kershaw kicked out, and along with him, according to the rules, they also had their manager Joe Torre ejected. Little ground ball for Call. Tough play. Backhand throws not in time. That was a very tough play. Call had to not only loop to his right, he had to come in to get the ball and almost see if he almost trips right there. Then the off-balance throw couldn't have much on it, and Uribe beats it, and the tying run's aboard. So an infield single for Uribe, and the tying run is aboard with Edgar Renteria. Renteria 2 for 4 in the past against Jonathan Broxton, and then Rowan 3 for 9 on deck. So Boshi stays with right-hand batters against Broxton. And ball 1. Edgar Renteria has been asked to sacrifice just twice this year. Uribe at first is not a base stealer. He's got 1, and he's been caught twice. 1 ball, no strikes. Giants have been a very productive offensive team. as far as advancing the runner with the bunt and then cashing him in. Second in the league. They take the bunt off. Ball 2. Renteria, 2 ground balls to short and a fly ball to right. Dodgers 5 runs, 8 hits. Giants 4 runs, 5 hits. Uribe, the tying run at first, nobody out. Two and one. Now Renteria checking with Tim Flannery. They had him try to bunt, pull away. 2-0, now 2-1. With a lot of clubs, 2-1, you start thinking hit and run, but you do have a strikeout pitcher out there. Renteria has struck out only 25 times, and he's had about 170 plate appearances. So let's see what they do. 2 balls, 1 strike. And ball 3. So now it's up to Broxton to throw a strike. Time for the moment now. They're going to put a runner in. Nate Shearholtz will run for Uribe. So we were wondering, would they play hit and run 2-1? Uribe doesn't run well. Now 3-1 with Shearholtz running. Shearholtz going. Foul ball. So they put run and hit on a 3-1 count with the runner. Now 3-2. Another thing the Giants do pretty well, they're 4th in the league in having their runners go from first to third on a base hit. They certainly weren't doing it with Uribe. So 3-2. Shearholtz was going 3-1. There he goes, and it is ball 4. So Jonathan Broxton, the infield single and a walk. Nobody out. Aaron Rowan coming up. And in looking at Rowan, he has not sacrificed this year. Aaron tonight with the bat walked intentionally in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 5th, and was hit by a pitch in the 7th, and that caused the ejection of Clayton Kershaw. It brought in Hong-Chi Kuo. And now here's Broxton, and Aubrey Huff is now out on deck as Boshi plays the card, a left-hand batter. So now will he have Rowan try to bunt? The Dodgers are positive they shorten the corners. He shows bunt and got it down. Broxton's play has to be to first in time. So Rowan does successfully what he had not done all year. Gets the sacrifice down. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. And Aubrey Huff, who's been a very hot hitter, coming up. Aubrey Huff played last night and went 1 for 5. The Dodger infield will play up. Let's check and see Aubrey Huff against Broxton. And the answer is they have never faced each other. And they will walk him intentionally with first base open and take their chances with Andres Torres. Now Torres runs very well. the Giants have been plagued by hitting into double plays. And in the very first inning, after we gave you that note, remember, Buster Posey grounded into a double play. So we look up Torres, a switch hitter who has grounded into 5, and he'll be coming up with a bases loaded and 1 out in a moment. (5-4) Dodgers, 9th inning. And there's ball 4 to Aubrey Hub. So now Torres, he's a switch hitter. By hitting left-handed against Broxton, he has the extra step or 2 to first base. Don Mattingly, who is running the club now that Joe had to leave according to the rules when Clayton Kershaw was ejected. There's no one throwing in the pen. That's it. It's Broxton or no one. And Andres Torres coming up. Now Bruce Bochy is coming out. And let's see. With the bases loaded and 1 out. Bochy has talked to the rookie umpire, who really has had his hands full tonight. And the question is, of course, 2 trips to the mound. Here you can see the first time. Now he turns. Now he walks away. And oops, I forgot to tell you one other thing. And Bochy says that's 2 trips. And of course, if it's 2 trips, that means the pitcher has to come out. And now Mattingly is coming back out again to say, wait a minute. And McClelland is explaining to him, technically you made 2 trips. That means Broxton has to come out, and the Dodgers don't have anyone warming up in the bullpen. Boy, has this been a bizarre game. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Travis Schlichting gets up. Can we see that one more time as far as Mattingly, I believe, being charged with 2 trips? We can rack up the videotape for the moment. What a... Now here he is on the mound. Now let's see how far he goes. He gets 1 foot on the grass, 2 feet, turns, and comes back on the mound. Apparently, James Loney had asked Mattingly a question. See what? Hey, Don, what about, and that's what called him back. And of course, Bochy, who's been around a long time, spotted that immediately. Boy, that is really one for the books. Casey Blake, I'm sure, is maintaining that Mattingly had only made 1 trip, and he's arguing with Tim McClelland. Mattingly is now going back on the field. Wow. Well, we had a slip pitch that did not cross the foul line, so that was no pitch when we thought it might have affected the count. We've had the starting pitcher, Clayton Kershaw, kicked out of the game. The manager had to go with him. Now, yep, sure enough, Mattingly will be charged with making 2 trips, and Jonathan Broxton has to come out. I would suggest, but I don't know if they would do it, I would suggest that the Dodgers make an announcement over the public address system that Broxton had to come out because Mattingly was guilty of making 2 trips. For all this crowd feels that Broxton might have been ejected from the game. And George Sherrill will be coming in with one out and the bases loaded to turn Torres around and make him bat right-handed. Whoa, don't go away. We'll be right back. Pitcher, and Grady Little was the Dodger manager, and Bochy called Little for a similar instance that occurred with Mattingly. So for the second time, Bruce Bochy has nailed the Dodgers on a technicality. We'll see if it gives him a victory or what it does, but we do know that George Sherrill is brought in. Take another look. Watch, he's on the dirt, he steps on the grass, both feet on the grass, turns. Loney says, what about? So he goes back to Anzalone, 2 trips. So Torres now, they turn him around to try and get the double play with the bases loaded, 1 out, 9th inning, 5-4 Dodgers. And a strike. Torres thought it was high. So you have Schierholtz at third, the tying run, Renteria at second, and Huff at first. 1 out, 0-1 to Torres. Fastball and a high fly ball into deep left center field. That's going to go against the wall. In comes Schierholtz, in comes Renteria, and it is 6-5 Giants. On a long double by Andres Torres. So it made a lot of sense technically to turn Torres around to bat right-handed, but it didn't work against George Sherrill. So it is 6-5 Giants. Runners at second and third and 1 out, and Russell Martin heading for the mound, perhaps ordered to go there. But Don Mattingly going to school along with Rick Honeycutt. 6 runs, 6 hits for the Giants, 5 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, and Freddie Sanchez coming up with Buster Posey on deck, and still only 1 out. That was the successful sacrifice by Aaron Rowan. So the Giants trailed 3-0, 3-1, 5-1, 5-4, and now lead 6-5 in the 9th inning. And with the infield up, Freddie Sanchez, whoops, here comes Mattingly. He has Travis Schlichting in the pen. By the way, for Andres Torres standing out there at second base, we should give him some tribute. With runners in scoring position, Andres Torres is hitting .313. So out goes Sherrill. In comes Schlichting, and we'll be back. And all Torres did was double to put the Giants in front. So here's Schlichting, first base open, facing Freddie Sanchez. Aubrey Huff at third, and Torres at second. Freddie Sanchez struck out, lined out, singled, lined out. 1 for 4. Sanchez has 4 sacrifices and 5 sacrifice fly balls, and the infield has to play up. Hard ground ball, backhanded by Furcal. The throw to Martin, easy to get the runner coming in. So Sanchez on the fielder's choice. Aubrey Huff is cut down, 6-2. Holding at second is Andres Torres. And after that routine out, now you have Buster Posey, who has grounded into a double play, grounded out, single to right, and struck out. He has a 14-game hitting streak. And he probably hits it into right field. So here comes Torres. The throw cut off by Loney. Throws to third. Too late. It is 7-5 Giants. So Buster Posey, who is quite a young player, just calmly walks up and comes up with his second hit and a huge run batted in. The Torres scores on it, and Sanchez spins all the way to third, and that will bring up Pat Burrell. 7-5 Giants, and we're in the top of the ninth. And a strike. So Schlichting gives up the hit. Torres, who scored, belongs to Sherrill. And we have 2 out. Runners at first and third. Nice save by Martin, 1-1. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the ninth inning, Jamie Carroll will lead it off, then Furcal, and then Paul. Andre Ethier due to bat fourth. Ball 2. Pat Burrell is the 8th man to come to the plate, and he has Torres at third and Posey at first. 3 runs in, 7-5 Giants. Ball 3. On deck, Pablo Sandoval, 2 out. And ball 4 to load him up. And with the bases loaded, Pablo Sandoval, who has a walk and a double, 1 for 3 coming up, and he will now bat left-handed. Sandoval hitting .286 from the left side, .240 from the right. All of his power is as a left-handed batter. 6 home runs, all 6 hit from this side. So Burrell and Posey and Sanchez, high fly ball to center. Kemp is there. So the Giants get off the floor, score 3, and we're heading for the bottom of the ninth. 7-5 Giants. arranges his team defensively. Let's start at first base. Travis Ishikawa has taken over at first. Pablo Sandoval, who had been playing first, moves across the diamond to play third. In the outfield, Nate Shearholtz goes into right field, having batted for Uribe. And the right fielder, Andres Torres, moves to left field. So with all of that, the new pitcher is Jeremy Affeldt, who pitched the 7th and part of the 8th inning last night. 2 and 3 with a couple of saves. And of course, the big man for the saves for the Giants is Brian Wilson. Wilson with 26 saves, picked one up last night. So here's Jamie Carroll, and ball 1. 7 runs, 7 hits for the Giants. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. And a strike. 1-1 to Jamie. Came in the double switch with Broxton to bat 9th. And here he is. Rafael Furcal on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 2-1. I'll have to correct the scoreboard. They have it 1-1, but it's 2-1. Fouled out. 2 balls and 2 strikes they count to the leadoff man Jamie Carroll here in the 9th inning. They're trying to get the direction of the scoreboard operator to correct the score. It's 2-2. Big bouncer, short hop, drop, picked up, throw to first, in time on a bang play. Pablo Sandoval trying to use a vacuum cleaner and suck up that short hopper, and it didn't quite work, but he was still able to make the throw just in time to get Carroll. From another angle, in the glove, the foot a fraction of a second later. Here's Furcal. Walked, stole a base, and scored a run in the first inning. Grounded out and struck out twice since. Rafael turning back, as you can see, to hit right-handed. Furcal 2 for 7 in the past against Affeldt. Did not face him last night. That's a strike. The Padres lost. The winner tonight picks up a game. And whack to left, down the line, in the corner, a one-hopper off the fence, ball's in play, and Furcal has himself a double. For Rafael, his 19th double. Torres played the ball very well, but Furcal able to get in there. Rafael has now hit safely in 19 of his last 21 games. Ronnie Belliard is now going to come up and bat for Xavier Paul. Xavier Paul had 3 hits. He was 3 for 4, but they play the percentage of the right-hand batter. Also, Belliard's numbers very good. He is 6 for 15 with a home run against Jeremy Affeldt. Curveball in there. 0-1. Belliard has been struggling at a couple of knocks in St. Louis, but hitting .220. Fastball, 1-1. On deck, Andre Ethier. One ball, one strike. Curveball, 1-2. A big crowd tonight, many of whom have left, but they have seen an awful lot of baseball and rules. 53,381 when the game started on James Loney bobblehead night. For call at second, one away, and down goes Belliard. I was just thinking, you always talk about what happens to a fellow on his bobblehead night. James Loney went 0 for 3, but it was Loney, remember, who had inadvertently caused all the trouble when he called Mattingly back to the mound. And that made Don make 2 trips, and it just completely took the Dodger train right off the tracks. James Loney bobblehead night, a night to remember or an evening to forget. Here's Ethier, 2-run home run, a walk, popped up, fly to left against Affeldt. And ball 1. Ethier against Affeldt, 2 for 10 coming into the series. He faced Affeldt last night and grounded out, so he's 2 for 11 against the left-hander. Fastball off the plate. On deck, James Loney. Loney 2 for 8 against Affeldt in the past, and did not face him last night. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-1. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So Affeldt trying to close it for Bruce Bochy. For a call out there at second with 2 down. Check swing foul, 2-2 on a fastball at 91 again. Lincecum, Bautista, Casilla, and Affeldt. Kershaw, Quo, Broxton, Sherrill, and Schlichting for the Dodgers. For Affeldt, he's the one to close. Wilson getting the night off, apparently. Big curveball fouled away. So after 2 91-mile-an-hour fastballs, Affeldt back with a curve. Brian Wilson last night made 24 pitches, and that was an evening in the 9th inning where Wilson struck out the side, but also gave up 2 hits and a walk. So it's up to Affeldt to do the job. Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, a runner at second, and the Giants lead by 2, and that's ball 3. In looking at Affeldt's clutch numbers, 20 walks, 30 strikeouts. He has allowed more hits than innings pitched, and he has an earned run average of over 4, and everybody up. 3-2. You notice Andre Ethier clean shaven. That beard was growing. The batting average down to .314, so he went to the blade. Halfelt not ready, and Posey going out to talk to him. Jeremy been pitching professionally since 1997 when he came up with the Royals. And the kid catcher going out to try and talk to him and got kind of a wave off. All right, 3-2 to Andre Ethier. For call to third, strike 3 at the plate. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. The Dodgers losing a maddening game, a frustrating